Hey, what up? Welcome to Millennial Hipsters. You're listening to Millennial Hipsters. It's episode 9. Tonight in the studio, we got V.
Sup?
We got Shapes.
Yo.
We got Jambi.
Yo.
And we got John.
What up?
And this is your host, Boofmatic. All right, welcome, guys. What's going on? Hey!
Got the guests up in the house.
Yeah.
Shapes, what have you been up to, man?
Oh man, just chilling, working, chilling, sleeping.
Middle of the week vibe.
Drinking, you know how it
That's
is.
life.
I feel you.
Hey man, today's actually, we're recording on a Wednesday, but it's long weekend, so it's actually a Thursday because we have Friday on.
Oh
I
shit.
mean, it kind of works.
Good Friday coming
It's
up.
still a Thursday vibe to me.
Long weekend about to drop a mixtape. What's in this cup? What are we drinking?
We got whiskey here, and we got
drinks
some
on the
Stellas
table.
over here. We need a bottle opener for the Stellas.
Shapes just got.
Oh, yeah, I got a lighter.
Wisers.
Yeah,
Wait, Shapes got a what?
gotta bring the alcohol around,
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
Part of my thing.
That's my homie Shapes. You could follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you want to plug yourself now.
Yeah, yo.
What is your
My
Instagram?
I don't use it very often.
You got
I
like
think it's on my-
godsons and just like.
I don't. I have a lot of selfies on my Instagram.
Oh,
I don't even know what the fucking
Well,
name is. What,
that's
what the hell
expected.
is
It's
it?
You didn't take
Instagram.
any gratuitous whip pics?
Not really.
No.
Shit, I guess
I think he
gotta get on that.
shapes 2-4, right?
Shapes
Shapes
2-4.
That's it.
If that's wrong, we'll correct it in the
Near future.
in the description below.
Okay.
Below down south.
Below down south. Speaking of down south,
Is it?
I don't know.
I mean, everywhere in the States is down south, so.
Yeah, no, I'd say like New York, yeah? No.
What would you say? Did you say Yorkdale?
No, New York down.
Oh, New
Oh,
York.
true. Yeah, I thought you guys
I
were
heard
talking
Yorkdale too.
about south side of Scarborough.
Southside?
Oh my god.
Bluff south. Like,
Just like south of Scarborough, Inglewood. No, I'm joking. Yo, everyone's been traveling now that the weather's better.
oh yeah, the weather's definitely getting better. We're heading into springtime right now, so it's
First day of spring was what? March?
It was last Thursday, I believe.
March 1st. Nah, is that first day of spring? March 1st? It was,
No.
No.
we're talking about, not
It's
March.
21st, 22nd, the equinox, spring equinox. Is. Time is getting, the days are getting longer.
The first day of spring. The equinox.
Okay, well, what the fuck else is popping off, guys? Well, what's going on this week? In,
Yo, if you guys want to get it out of the way, there's like bare game drops.
all right,
Yo, I want to play Far Cry 5.
Far Cry 5.
I want to play it. Yeah, I love the series. I don't know how this one's gonna be.
Have you played any of the previous Far Cry?
Oh yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm a Far Cry fan, so
Have you? How long have you been playing Far Cry?
I don't know. As long as it's been out, probably
Dang.
since Far Cry 3, roughly. Which is, I don't know, 5 years now.
So not for as long as it's been out, but Far Cry 3.
fine. Far Cry 3 I played. I don't remember Far Cry 2.
Far Cry 3, can you whip cars in that one?
I believe so,
You
yeah.
can drive, right?
Yeah.
So
Far Cry's dope still.
Far Cry is like an open world shooter, right?
Yeah, like an RPG.
Yeah, that's
I would say it's an
RPG.
RPG. Yeah,
Got a little bit of that.
RPG shooter. Yeah, man, that dropped. Yo, some other like little like unknown titles in the background dropped too, like Attack on Titan 2.
Mm-hmm.
That one looked kind of sick. If you're into the obscure anime type shits. Hey, yo, where'd you get an opener?
Keychain.
Here. Yo, the cheat cane opener. All right.
Spoofmatic here. I just want to say that I never really played any of the Far Cries, but I was looking at gameplay today of Far Cry 5. I think I'm one of those players who's on the fence. Like, should I play now? After looking at some gameplay, I think I'm down. You could team up with one other person.
Co-op too.
It's co-op. Co-op campaign. Shoot, as long as any one of you guys get it, I'm down.
Co-op adds a whole new element.
But yo, you got a budget for God of War, 'cause that's the huge
That's
the
drop,
big
man.
one.
That's
That's
the
the
big one.
Hold up.
Oh, here we go. This is it.
The dissenting
This is it.
opinion.
Let's go.
What did we talk about today?
My criteria, this is just a subjective thing, then you guys can argue it if you want, but me personally, a factor for getting games for me now is the multiplayer aspect. Can I play with a friend, or am I just spending another $90 on a solo, a limited, once I'm done the game, that's it. I gotta resell
but
it now.
You're kind of. Let me just call you up for a second.
Go ahead. No, this is what we
One of your favorite games of all time, and this was mentioned on episode 7, I believe, is Skyrim, right?
This guy's checking the tape.
Skyrim's in there.
I don't know.
Got it on tape, bro.
Yeah, we got it on tape, man. Like, I don't know. We gotta say that.
Single player
Talk up.
epic
Speak
game.
up.
Oh,
Ten
gonna
though.
cancel
No.
its Netflix special now.
We're gonna talk. If we're gonna bring Skyrim is like one of the largest sandboxes out
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Which is why it kept me entertained for an extended period of time. Like, as much as I'd play a multiplayer, I played Skyrim.
Meaning like the longevity of the game.
Yeah, there was so much.
So it has to
Zoom on
be the length.
Yeah, I guess
that'll
so.
like basically equate to the multiplayer in like a single player game. Is what you're saying?
Which is why I want to bring this back to Far Cry. Shoot, man, just looking at the gameplay. I just watched somebody play for 20 minutes. The map was already so large, and this person was saying they weren't even through like 25% of the map, and they were playing like the first mission, and they already made you like drive from place to place. I guess you're sort of clearing out checkpoints. It looks challenging. The person was playing with a friend, like I said, which is a selling point for me. You play with your friend, and what does anybody know the premise of the game? Like, they didn't really explain that when I was watching the game.
It is pretty story driven.
Yeah.
Story driven.
It's usually like a dictator who's trying to. No, what it is like the community that are trying to
Exactly.
create their own country within America.
Okay.
And they're trying to rebel. And I think it's like essentially like.
That's how they almost all are.
It's like the neo-Nazi type
Different
shit. They're
countries.
trying to create their own nation and like
Yeah.
diverge from like the rest of the states.
Yeah.
And then you're like the sheriff, the officer that's preventing that civil rebellion essentially.
Okay.
From what I've seen, it gives off a vibe of with The Walking Dead. You know how they're like, in The Walking Dead, there's
Right.
like all these like civilizations or like societies that they're starting up with like very corrupt leaders and shit like that.
You're taking out a bunch of Negans, is what you want to feel like.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Okay, well,
It
okay.
looks pretty cool in that way, but it's like Walking Dead without zombies. That's how I would like describe it.
I'm down to try it out. That's all I want to say right now. What do you guys think? Should we go around the table with this one? Yes.
Yeah, man, I think I'm gonna try it out. But the thing with me is that this is the game's 5th iteration, and it's like, I don't know, man. I feel like this game be in, like I'm not gonna say it's gonna be like in the bargain bin soon, but I'm guessing like I really feel like when the sales hit, this game is gonna be like prime target.
Yeah,
one of those.
100%.
Because it's the 5th one too, right? It's nothing like new, like revolutionary that we haven't seen, and like we're
Right.
gonna hold some traction for a while. You know what I mean? And I don't like the brand is good, but like Far Cry's are pretty spaced out in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
They come out every,
Couple years.
you know what I mean?
A
And
couple every year or two,
Every
which is
2
like I
years.
think you need like a little bit of a break from sometimes.
I would say,
But like
that's
for
true.
like hardcore fans, like this is what they want. So
I'd say it's the equivalent, to like Fallout dropping a Fallout 6 right now. I don't think we're ready for that.
Yeah, we're not ready.
yeah, they usually some like span of years between
not-
those games.
Well, what I was gonna say is I'm not I love playing the game, but I'm not gonna buy it right away. I do feel like it is gonna end up in some kind of special bin for,
In a
for
couple-
the price or whatever, whatnot. The bin.
the metaphor.
Game came out last fucking last week. It's already in the fucking bin.
It's like we're like 15-year-olds on a new
Not even
album.
a fucking song.
I feel like we're like definitely adolescents on a new rap album or like a new rap.
Well, this is what
You're
happens with
finding the
games,
dollar
right?
store
That is
bin
what happens with games
with all
now.
the CDs.
But I would
from
say
the
even
90s.
Fallout has a little bit more anchored, like it's got a little bit more
Yes, it's
sturdiness
background.
than like Far Cry, right?
Who
Like
still
the-
has their Fallout 4?
I still got it.
I do.
Yeah, I
I
just
still
don't
got
want
it.
to trade that one.
I don't want to get rid of that one.
I'll never
almost-
play it. It's just there.
I was almost tempted to.
Right?
Like,
Put
shit,
it in, right?
What am I playing?
Those
Okay,
ones.
let's look at fine. Let's quickly do this. What are we playing right now? I'm still cycling through Overwatch, Call of Duty World War 2, and I'm still actually cycling through GTA, and Monster Hunter is still up there with me. Monster Hunter, I'm at its end game, but that's the only 4 things I'm playing right now.
That's a good span of games.
4 games, but I'm wanting to go back. I saw Jam playing some Battlefield last night,
Yeah, yeah.
And I almost wanted
love
to.
that game.
I still have mine. Yeah, like I almost wanted to pop that in. But
Battlefield was
non-stop.
always cool because just the scale of the game. Like you'll never play a multiplayer game when you feel like you're in actual war. Like
Yeah.
Call of Duty says World War II, but you're just running around, shooting people in the face. But this is like you're in a battlefield.
Like for me, I don't know. It's just a difference in games. It's not that one game's better than the other. It's just a different format of game. Like in Battlefield, basically, there's random shit happening around you. There's like a guy fucking dropping bombs from the sky in his fucking airplane. There's sea battles with like ships like at the side. There's like a grenade blowing up right beside you. Like your fucking your army is like running across the field. Like you're ducking down. Like it's like all this shit happening around you, and it feels like an actual war happening.
Yeah, like 32 on 32.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And COD, it's still fun. You're running around, you're just getting kills. Like you jump in the game, you're just like, yo, how many kills can I rack up? Like, let me just like kill it right now. Like, bam, bam, bam. Shoot this guy over there. Shoot this guy over here. Duck behind here. Like, it's really fast paced. So like, it's just a difference in games. But yeah.
I'm not a Battlefield fan, like sure.
Yeah.
And, like I understand where you're coming from. It is amazing, the atmosphere,
I like it.
everything
I like
that
it.
happens is amazing. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I always die by a sniper. Just a random bullet just fucking hitting me out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that just annoys the crap out of me.
I get it.
And there's always that you see the kill cam or whatever. There's a guy sniping from crouching down on the ground and lying there, and that's the one getting the most kills.
And he's from like 100 miles away.
Yeah, there's no way you can fucking kill him.
But that's
He's just there.
that's a war, yo. You can't just run out in an open field and
I'm
expect
not
to
saying an
survive.
open field. You can be anywhere really. This guy's waiting for you. As soon as you hit that open field to run to the next side, you're dead. Like,
As soon as I find out a sniper shot me, I look for him on the map, and I'm just creeping around the entire map, just trying to kill him.
Yeah, I try to do that too.
But yeah,
And
it
there's a
does.
sniper on the other side of the fucking map.
Yeah,
doing the same
exactly.
shit.
It does get
You'll
you
never
pissed.
get to them.
For me, I like games that get me pissed though.
Yeah,
It gets me pissed, and I'm like ready to like jump back in it and be like, "Yo, fuck this guy." Let me get
I
him.
want to comment on that. I want to zoom in on that for a second. Playing games that get you pissed. Now,
Don't talk about this.
no. I think this is a good topic because I mean,
Something that pisses me off.
you use
Men's are getting pissed off just
I'm getting
thinking
pissed
about
off.
it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm about to rage
Let's
quit
get
right
pissed
now.
off talking
You know
about
what?
shit that piss you
I'm
off.
out of this.
We haven't even
fucking
gotten to the
podcast. I'm leaving.
conversation yet.
Already pissed.
you use that fuel, you use that energy, and it either goes one of two ways. Am I
Can we
right,
do this
guys?
with something else other than games, though? Like,
Okay,
I'm
let's-
so mad I should go to med school. But fuck it. You know what I mean? But like with a video game, it's like, yeah, okay.
Okay, fine. Let's zoom out a bit. Like, can we extrapolate this into other topics? Like, doing something that gets you pissed, but you're still doing it.
Yeah, no, but then you rage quit, right? That's what rage quit
Rage
comes
quit?
from.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's the sensible
you can-
person reacting.
Applying that to games is different than applying it to life.
You can apply that
I mean-
to sports very easily.
Okay, but
Yeah.
I can't rage
Well,
quit
sports
smoking.
it's a game, right?
You know,
Yeah.
I hate this fucking thing, but I can another cigarette.
Shapes, what did you say? I don't
You
know if
can't
they-
rage quit smoking.
I can't rage quit
Can't rage
smoking.
quit
you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's
In
slightly
fact, I
different.
don't even think they can pick you up over there far away. Trust me, we've been doing this for 8 episodes. I think we know by now.
I think you can hear him now because the furnace decided to shut the fuck up. For a second.
Shout
Shout out the
Cameo.
furnace.
Furnace, just about to say that. Cameo furnace.
Easy,
Shout out
is
to
about to
Furnace.
shout his 2 cents in soon.
Yo, does anyone give a fuck about the last white male rhino dying and shit? Did you guys hear about this?
Okay, I want to
Oh,
say
so
I've heard
there's no
something
more
about this like
missing
for the
rhinos.
last 2 or 3 weeks, but it's fine. She or she finally dead.
No, yeah, they
It was a
died.
girl. It was
the
a girl.
last,
Was it the girl or the male?
It was the male. The last white
Male
rhino,
rhino.
dies.
Did they freeze his sperm?
No, man.
I think it was a girl because they were saying they couldn't impregnate.
I know there was two.
Well, if
shit.
the white male dies, who's impregnating anyone?
Oh,
It's
the
the
white
last
male.
white
Okay,
male
okay.
rhino.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If
Unless
they,
they freeze
If they
sperm.
took the
They need-
sperm,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is how I see it. I mean, evolution, species go extinct.
yeah,
We're just trying to
I would say so.
We're trying to
fight
hold on.
nature. Is what we're trying
The
to
thing
do.
is, they're going extinct at the rate that the human race no longer needs them for anything. Is what I'm saying, right? The animals that are forced into perpetuation, like their lives, like are like livestock and shit, those are the animals that are going to be preserved first, and these animals that we don't eat, kill, like use anything for.
I mean,
listen,
go
I
ahead.
think part of the reason why these animals are going extinct is because of like hunters. That's a huge industry still.
You're talking about the ivory trade.
Ivory trade, like people just hunting for game and stuff like that. That's why a lot of species have died out in the past. And I'm not surprised
Especially
that's
rhinos.
the case
I believe
for
that.
for the white
I
rhino.
believe that because like I heard stories like, oh, I'm gonna go hunt a white rhino and shit. Right when they're about to be extinct,
The
that's
horn
when
is
people want
probably-
them the most.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
The
basically
horn
what
is
they
probably
got.
where it's at,
Yeah.
the jewelry.
Yeah.
The ivory, but
Who knows what type of jewelry or whatever they
Oh,
use
yeah.
that.
I
shit
want to
for.
cycle back to Vishal's point about like, I don't want to sound cold-hearted, but we don't necessarily need the right rhino, and humans just want to keep it alive, just so you hold on to that, and then I mean once it's gone, it's fucking that's it. It's gone. It's a legend.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking dragon or the unicorn. You know what I'm
The
saying?
dodo bird.
The dodo bird.
I would say,
You know?
I would say the white rhino dying though, it does definitely.
It's significant.
It does play a key part in like the huge like environmental cycle as a whole.
The big
we just
picture.
don't see it, right?
Not yet.
We're not seeing it explicitly change the huge environmental cycle. But at the same time, you catch me like copping the ivory frames, like you know what I mean, when I can. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
He
gonna
would.
cop the white rhino
Boofmatic is not into
skin
that shit.
jacket with the horn on the button.
I don't see the whole
I wish
appeal
we had
and all
a
that
vegan
stuff.
or some sort of
You know?
animal.
I'm not a
person,
fashion.
like, shit.
All right, whatever.
No, shut up.
I want to know what they would say.
I'm
to
not
this.
I'm not a fashion. No, I know that's gonna offend people and discredit myself as well.
Yeah, man, you've been cleaning up since episode 7, man.
You know what?
Since the boss started, like,
You know what?
Shaved up.
Let me shout out Brian Durga, or for the haircuts.
Mm-hmm.
Check him out. Check my fucking Facebook profile.
The barber
pic.
plug.
Yeah, man.
Actually, shout him out still, because nobody likes waiting half an hour or not even half an hour. That's a blessing to wait half an hour, like 4 hours for.
Dude will
barber.
bless you. Whatever.
appointments, making appointments.
Next.
True, make an appointment. I feel you. But yeah, man. Shout out to all the animal lovers, animal protectors, vegans, non-fur wearers. You do your thing. I'ma still eat a fucking rare ass
Yo,
thing with
man.
my mink on.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
did you hear about the story about the restaurant that was chopping up meat in spite of the people
Yes.
protesting in front of them?
Okay, well,
Wow,
Can
didn't hear
you,
that.
what is this about? I didn't hear about this.
It's okay. So there's a Toronto butcher or like
It's a restaurant called
right?
Antler.
Called Antler, right? And
Appropriate.
yeah, so there were some protesters protesting the restaurant in front of there with like banners and signs and stuff, like
Ooh, I'm looking
and
this
then
up
they're
right now.
and they're vegans, right? And they're pretty much protesting, meat, eating meat and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then they go on to in spite of it, like chop meat.
Can I read the headline?
Yeah,
I
yeah, go
found
ahead.
something.
Yeah, go ahead.
The National Post says the headline is Toronto chef butchers eats deer leg in front of animal rights protesters outside his restaurant. This was March 27, 2018. This happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yes.
So basically, there were a whole bunch of protesters outside the restaurant window.
And it is what it says. The Toronto chef, apparently exasperated and at an animal rights protester outside his restaurant, carried what appeared to be a leg of raw venison in front the window facing the sidewalk. As the protesters watched, he took a knife and began separating the meat from the bone.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
if you see the
That was what I was
video,
trying to explain.
if you see the video, they're all like, there's a crowd of protesters right outside the restaurant window, and they're all like protesting. And then in the restaurant window, the chef himself sets a table up,
Oh my goodness.
slabs a deer leg on
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and starts cutting it up.
Skinning it and stuff.
He starts skinning it, and then what happens is that
He cooks it.
and then he eats it.
There's a
right?
ton of pictures of
And
this stuff.
then what happens is that the cops then go into the restaurant and like tell him,
eat.
hey, you're antagonizing people.
They're antagonizing him.
Which I fucking completely
It
agree
works
with.
both
Yeah.
ways.
It's like completely. You come to my restaurant and you make a big scene. You hurt my business. I'm gonna do what I'm doing in my restaurant with my restaurant. Like
Yeah.
we're meant to eat meat here. So
Yes.
of course I'm gonna put it in the window.
This is my restaurant that I own. I pay taxes on. I pay my bills.
No, look,
you know.
I don't want to say we're
my
hating on
livelihood. What the
vegans
fuck?
and stuff, but we're just
It's
we're
totally
hating
legal.
on the action. It's like people coming up to your vegan restaurant and protesting outside with slabs of bacon. Is it to that equivalent? Can I equate that? I mean, you're going up to a vegetable place and you're holding up signs, you know, we want to eat meat.
But I'm saying,
I mean,
can you?
what the fuck?
Can you
Then
look
you're
at-
going to a fucking butcher shop and saying, "Don't
Listen.
kill." I mean,
All I gotta say is leave us alone and leave the vegetarians alone.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
not gonna
The
bother.
vegeta-
I don't
can we
just
have,
mind your
can we
own
have
business.
separate
mind your own
lives?
business.
Can
Exactly.
we-
Listen, when I was,
It's a
when I-
huge. It's a
when
big
my-
world.
Yeah, when my teeth grew in, they grew in with 2 carnivorous teeth or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I want to eat my
2
meat.
canines.
2 canine
canine.
teeth, whatever.
4, actually.
4.
That's right, man.
Top and bottom. I forgot about that. But yes, I have them for a reason. They're there for a reason. I'm gonna eat meat with them.
And the one side point on that is that he actually is, like he gets his meat from like proper places, like where they're like the animals are treated right and stuff. Like he's all about that. That's one of the selling points of his restaurant.
Right.
Okay,
right.
is it they say
And
that they're really
All I have to say is that's the best fuck you I've ever seen in a long time.
That's a good fuck.
But also, I think it's because there was also like
was great.
a method of how they cook the meat, or there's something called foie gras or foie gras. There's some shit I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's
Sounds
like FOIE
expensive.
GRAS.
I've
It
heard
sounds
that.
expensive.
What they do is they force feed the animal corn, so it's like saturated with like all the corn
Oh, natural
juices
fat.
and like the fats,
Oh.
right? And they force feed it,
Oh.
and that's how they kill it.
So that's part of the
and then
cooking
they cook
process.
it. Yeah, but no, it's alive.
Or the,
They're force feeding it with this
That
corn
that
meal.
sounds just as
Or the preparation
sounds
process
too
for
bad.
cooking.
I mean,
or
Okay.
It sounds
I
delicious,
disagree
but
with
I can.
stuff like
It
that.
sounds delicious, but I can see how a vegan could be like.
No,
Yo,
I don't want to eat an animal who's been eating corn all his life.
Not that. No, they.
Nigga, have you had a
by
burger
force
from
feeding.
McDonald's?
Yeah, but it's not like
What you talking about?
Okay,
I
sorry.
just go to McDonald's out of
I'm sorry.
convenience.
They
John.
feeding other cows. Out
I'm not
there.
like, yo, this is.
I want to briefly talk about the things I've seen in Trinidad about animals, what animals eat, and that what we okay. There are chickens. People have their own chickens and their own pigs and stuff, and they get fed whatever the owner feeds them. And then that stuff gets cooked and family eats it and people are still alive or whatever. I've seen things. I've seen chicken guts being thrown to groups of chickens and ducks, and they are. You think chickens and ducks are vegetarian? They don't give a fuck. Some animals do not give a fuck. They will eat anything you throw at them. Yes, I've seen chickens and ducks eat chicken and ducks.
But I mean, in terms of Antler, though, this is what Antler says that they're not doing.
Let's
though.
scroll it. Yeah, let's scroll it back.
Antler's saying that they're not actually like. They're
Now,
not
this is what-
feeding
yeah.
their animals, and they're really responsible.
Now, yes, and let's bring it back to Canada. Let's bring it back to we have a little bit more of a controlled environment here.
You charged up today, Boof. Boof is charged up today. Usually this dude fine as fuck. Now he's ready to go.
Can I do a little something?
I hope that you get your shit off, bro.
We're ever changing at Millennial Hipsters here.
Segue. I was hanging out with Shapes. Shout out Shapes.
What up? What up?
We were at a friend's place a bit earlier. Shout out to John, Just for Blaze. You could follow him at Instagram. So I wanted to give him a shout out. Yeah, we were at their place a bit earlier.
Which John? We already got a John.
Bianca's
John.
John Bradley.
Our friend Bianca is pregnant right now. And you
Yikes.
just get a shout out to her. Congrats and all that
Private
stuff.
info on
the podcast.
public. Yeah.
Nobody's gonna hear this till the
it's well
baby's
known
born
now.
anyway.
What?
Listen, she only has a month and a half, and that thing's popping out.
Let's say, so we did a little bit of celebrating earlier with John.
Congrats,
And
man.
Bianca. I think she was good.
Congrats to
Yeah,
Spring
so
baby.
big ups. I'm a little bit lit right now. We'll podcast. It's lit up, man.
Litcast.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Usually Boop has worked like early in the morning.
It's a
when we're
Wednesday
all-
night. Yes.
That's might be
Yes,
the reason
yes.
why.
Episode 9. Let's just, people got to get to know us a little bit better. I work the weekends, and tonight we're doing a Wednesday night podcast. So yeah, I'm good tonight. What are we talking about, man? Like, what's next?
Okay, what's next on the docket?
Yo, this Stormy Daniels shit. Anderson Cooper found a jackpot interview. This is the interview that's gonna soar his Anderson Cooper was he's oh, I'm gay, and everyone was oh, okay, his shit was popping, and then he kind of died down. And then he interviewed Stormy Daniels, and now he's oh, fucking going crazy.
Shit.
You know what's
I got a
crazy?
raise.
Explain to me who Stormy Daniels is.
Is the porn star that Donald Trump had an affair with.
Oh.
Remember we talked about Stormy Daniels, how she was like a porn star coming up when we were in like elementary school. We were just learning how to use fucking websites. And shit.
Yeah, I just learned.
I think we talked
that,
about
like,
it.
She was like a classic porn
That's
star.
on a behind the scenes that whole conversation. But go on. Yeah, it's like you were saying.
And so Stormy Daniels did the whole interview and shit. It was a hit. Everybody loved Stormy.
Stormy.
All the Donald
Stormy.
Trump discreditors like Stormy Daniels. But the funniest thing is that like, listen, itchy Twitter finger Donald Trump always has some shit to say about something.
Yes, sure.
And he has kept quiet ever
He has
since this
more
shit
than
happened.
itchy Twitter fingers, that's for sure.
Which is kind of funny, which is crazy. I mean, we always got to do a segue about America because, like, yo, they're like the most entertaining
When
shit.
did this affair happen?
She alleged like that they had an affair, that he paid, he like wanted to pay her for sex, and they just while he was with his wife, and then other women now are coming out that like they would like have an arrangement. You know what I mean? He would have sex with them and shit.
Yeah.
What's funny
But
is that
like that goes back to my my whole theory of you know, people that are like, you know, of celebrity basically boost, like having influence and boosting ratings here and dropping stocks here.
you think this
like,
will boost
She's
her?
famous right now because she fucked Donald Trump.
Right.
Right.
And as soon as she goes on 60 Minutes, best ratings in 10 years.
There it is.
Boom.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, celebrity, like, really has an influence in certain things.
Yeah.
Not everything, but I'm just saying, like, you know.
I think those outer circles are what need to be like critically analyzed. The fact that the president's fucked a porn star, I don't think anyone gives a shit, or is anyone surprised? No, president's been doing this.
Oh, yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
so that's no surprise. But I think
The whole thing
just
about
out there.
okay, I mean, it's a redundant topic I'm bringing up here, but America's president right now, it was a celebrity. That whole thing, like he was a TV personality, and before that, for years he was on TV from the 70s. Came from a rich family. Are we surprised that any of the malicious shit this guy comes up with or is supporting? It's sad and comical at the same time. I feel like the fucking Joker is the president of the United States. Where the fuck is Batman? R.I.P. Adam West. Like, fuck. Like,
yo, Batman was Obama. He did his shit.
I know, right? We need another black man. A Batman.
Joe Biden.
Come on, get some ear horns on that shit, man. Yeah, man. Fuck. We need
Also-
yeah, fuck. Like, what's happening, man? Like, it's a joke. It's a joke every time we talk about this dude on the podcast too. Like it's comical.
Well, Dave Chappelle said something where like George Bush was so bad that he gave us the gift of Barack Obama.
Right? Yeah. Like, he had
And
to
then
give us.
Now he's saying, you know, Donald Trump is so whack that it takes. He's like, he never felt more American than when he's hating on Donald Trump together with his fellow Americans. So,
Well, I think Obama also gave us the gift of Donald Trump to show us how good George Bush really was.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
Maybe.
The gift that keeps on giving.
if I have to leave you guys on my term, I'm at least going to teach you this valuable lesson. Cherish what you had. Rather, maybe he's trying to tell us, cherish what you have now, Donald Trump, because 4 years from now, you might get fucking Kanye West.
Yeah. it's
And
true.
God knows what that's going to be.
you learn from your mistakes, and America should learn from their mistakes. And
gonna
this is
sound
a
like
huge
That applies to
mistake.
everything. Yeah, that
Huge
applies to
mistake.
everything.
He's gonna sell like presidential like edition Yeezys.
Oh my god.
No way.
That would be
With
sick.
the fucking crest on it.
Yikes.
Yeezy wouldn't agree to that.
He'd do it.
At least I
Well,
hope not.
you know what? Is this nothing new? And speaking of nothing new in the States, there was a protest in Sacramento. Unfortunately, another ethnic minority was gunned down by the police unjustifiably. And this is like,
Again.
it's popping.
Another one?
It's crazy. And
This is not the one with the dude in his grandma's backyard.
yeah, it was in Sacramento. So
Oh.
apparently there was a report that a black male was breaking into cars through their car windows or whatever. So the police pursued him. I'm not really sure how they identified him as a suspect, but the police pursued him. He ran into his grandmother's backyard, and then he had a phone in his hand. But they opened like 20 shots on him, like crazy. 20 of them. 20. You can hear the audio, and
Let's not do 20 shots.
it's crazy. Bro.
There's videos of it too, like the police cam.
There's some body cams, and there's
Yeah.
so much controversy behind it because then the police then mute the body cams
Yes.
to kind of like maybe develop an alibi. It's nuts. It's fucking crazy. And And then there was like this like they shut down like there was like a town hall meeting in Sacramento, and they just like shut it down, protests everywhere. Not to mention the
My bad. Excuse me.
not to mention the march
That was
for
one of
your
the sound effects.
was it the gun violence protests just all around in America now. It's just something to know.
Actually, I want to point out something that I'm now checking the news right now. There was a Quebec mosque shooting.
Yes, heard about this.
You guys heard about this? Yeah? Suspect Bissonnette he changed his plea to guilty. I don't know what the news was before, but I'm just checking this out right now. I guess he thought he was innocent, but he's guilty now. Shoot, man. The man who killed 6 Muslims in a Quebec mosque last year attended prayer and sought forgiveness Wednesday for his acts and said, as though I was battling a demon that finished by winning out.
That's a word.
So, yeah, these are direct quotes.
Oh, I remember
from
that
those,
that
right?
Quebec shooting. Yeah, that was crazy.
So I guess he was on trial today. I don't know what the verdict
He was
was.
pretty much saying he accomplished his mission by shooting up the mosque.
Right? I don't know what he's
How many
trying to
people
say.
did he kill?
Six people.
Jeez.
Did you guys hear about that French waiter who was claiming discrimination because he was fired for being rude? And he's like, yo, it's in my culture to be rude to people because I'm French.
No way.
Crazy!
He kind of has a point.
Yeah, did the people agree with
Anyway, in Montreal, anyway.
in Montreal?
Yo, French people are so fucking man.
Really?
If you don't speak French, they
Didn't they know you're from
they
Toronto?
treat you like a fucking asshole. Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, next
Eat
time you
Toronto
go.
people.
Yeah, oh yeah,
yeah,
fucking
okay,
for
yeah.
sure.
I do not want to generalize. I want to say maybe we are pointing out a couple of individuals.
Oh yeah. Well,
Because we have
Disclaimer.
cousins. We have cousins who they spent time growing up in Montreal and stuff, and they don't treat us like assholes because we don't know.
well, they're not
Well,
like
they're family,
French.
bro.
They're not
They're
French.
They're not
family.
like French.
Okay,
I'm saying.
I thought
You're
we were
not
not doing this.
what?
Discriminating people.
Yeah, like
Oh, shit.
We just said that, and then we just all friends.
because I'd like some people from Quebec to hopefully this podcast will reach out to, and you could listen to.
more do you want from me?
We may not have subtitles up.
I would like some French people to reach out to Le Podcast.
Le podcast.
Add some vegans.
Some vegans and transgender.
French vegans.
Everybody listens.
French
to this shit.
vegans should be our next guest. French
But
French vegans.
Oh man.
No de bouffe.
Do any exist?
Woof.
Wait, aren't they the ones that
Right.
like invented that process that to feed the pigs or to feed the fucking animals?
Probably.
The foie gras?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, is that
that is a French.
There it is. They are rude as fuck. They're horrible.
There are no
Eat some
French
corn.
vegans. Anyway, yeah.
Hey, what restaurant was
Sorry,
that
Frank.
dude working at? Because like
We're joking. Disclaimer.
because like
Which restaurant? Which restaurant?
okay, you're French. If you go into a customer service job, you gotta do what the job duties are. You can't just act yourself.
Absolutely no. This guy's totally fucking like come on like he's claiming discrimination for being being fired for being rude
because
like,
I'm rude.
please like,
yeah,
this is,
as a part of the culture, like
but I don't know. That's the thing. Does his defense hold up because he is French and most people know French people to be rude?
Like, if he was working at like,
Would it hold up?
an authentic French restaurant where you want the full France experience.
You know what's
If you want your waiter to be rude to you, like,
You know what's crazy though? A judge has to read all these. Like, this is assuming he put his claim forth. Like, an adjudicator has to read these claims. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, like, the adjudicator for that small moment may have entertained his argument there. Like,
well, you gotta give him a chance, right?
French people, foie gras. But
Any
yeah.
fancy restaurant I've ever been to, people have been rude. The waitress is like, you walk in with like 10 guys.
Yeah.
Brown guy
Okay,
sit
well,
down at
it's
this fucking flat, fancy ass restaurant. Okay, this happens to me because this is the only time I'll ever
This
go.
actually
with a bunch of
happened to
friends.
us too.
In Mexico,
in
of all
Mexico.
places. We're talking Mexico.
Yeah.
Fancy ass restaurant. We go sit down.
Italian restaurant.
How are you guys acting though? Hold up, you can't just.
We were fine.
This is the
We
definition
We
of
weren't like
okay,
super drunk or
you guys weren't
anything.
rowdy?
We were
You guys weren't rowdy?
We were sitting down quiet at our
Really?
table, but this fucking
Was this a
guy
bachelor party?
had the audacity to ask us for like more tip. You were
Really?
the food amount. We got what, Ratatouille? Some random stupid
Risotto.
risotto.
Oh my
Listen, it
god.
started with R. I'm no fancy motherfucker. Anyways,
So
yo.
see this.
I just want to explain what he
Okay.
said the plate was.
Got you.
So we asked how big the plate was. Okay, first he's giving us attitudes like it's this big. Like he shows us a very large plate. We're like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, that's a decent
Yeah,
size.
he motions the size of the
he-
plate.
he air hands it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So he brings a fucking plate out, and the plate was this big.
Okay.
But the
The
middle.
food was this.
No
like,
way.
it was-
It didn't even fit the plate. Like it was like a fraction of the plate size.
Exactly.
No, but to be fair, that's why they don't like us, because we think it's ratatouille, but it really is risotto.
There it is.
Okay, but I think there was like 3 or 4 of us at the same time who tried this dish and didn't like it
Yeah.
and fucking just put it aside.
Really? Okay.
So,
So they were asking for extra tip and shit. This is in Mexico though.
this is in Mexico. Like,
So-
imagine a fucking fancy ass
No, it was
The
restaurant
French
here.
theory's not working out, right?
Yeah.
It was
Maybe it is us.
Yeah, maybe it is.
It was in Mexico, but it seemed like a legit Italian experience. Besides the fact that all the staff was Mexican.
Oh my
That was
god.
a thing. It was fuck.
Where were you guys eating? That was KFC. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. Oh, that's sick.
And honestly, I thought the food was shit.
I was wearing a hat, and they brought a little hat rack. And they're like, "Please take off your hat, sir." And
Oh,
then
no way.
They put the hat on the hat rack, and the hat rack was like,
You're wearing a hat at the table at a fancy restaurant?
"Yeah."
Well, hello. What the fuck? You can't do that.
Well, that's why they made him put a hat away.
Yeah. I mean, like,
All right. What if the food was shit? Then I mean, that's not really
The
excusable.
food was not that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had better food for less.
But I don't hear that the food in Mexico is particularly good.
In general, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't
So
hear
that
that
might be
about
one of the
like
things.
Cuba,
Cuba either.
no, I
Right.
thought the food was crazy, man. It's just an acquired taste. I don't think I've reached that level yet where I can eat a little bite of this and just
I don't
swibble it in my
need to
mouth.
reach that fucking acquired
Like,
taste
ooh.
thing because I'm
Every
happy
piece
with
of food
what I
like it's
get.
a wine. You're like
Yeah.
swishing and like
No,
spitting
man.
it.
I was enjoying the experience. Like I got like this salmon
that's part of-
salad or something, and the way it was arranged on the plate, it's like you take your own adventures. Like, do I bite this first or do I go here?
Yikes.
And then they kind of arranged it in a way where you
shit.
don't think you know what you're doing, but you're eating it in like a certain order, and
pattern?
that's the way the chef wanted you to like.
Yo, you
get
told me the latest
attack it.
story. You told me some sick stories of Mexico. I don't know if you want me to divulge, but like none of it was incriminating. You told me how this chick just jacked your chain out there in public, and I think about that a lot.
Yeah,
I'm like,
people's phones got pickpocketed, and my chain got slanged off my neck.
Okay,
Crazy,
the
bro.
pickpocketers all were fucking...
I hear about that, man. I hear about this
We
shit all
talked
the
about this
fucking
before. I don't know if
Yeah.
you want to mention what they are, but like, they were lady mans.
They were
They were-
trans.
Drag.
They were drag anyways. They were
Really?
drag. They were the ones that would come up to you and talk to you when you're drunk and shit.
And they were
then
getting in your
just, like,
pockets, though?
Get in your fucking pocket, man.
Mm.
Way,
Yeah.
really?
Luckily, I didn't get my phone stolen either.
But hold
Yeah.
up, but did you like? How would they get that close to get in your pocket? Like,
Because
where-
you're drunk. And like,
It
the
looks
drunkest
like
people,
a-
I think, got their
I
phone stolen.
approached them. I'm like, yo, this girl's like wearing like almost nothing.
What was it, a girl?
Yeah, well, I couldn't.
So they finessed you 100%. They made you think they were a gender that they
No,
weren't.
no.
and shit?
I knew they weren't a girl, but I'm like, yo, I
Yeah,
just
well,
wanted to see what they
you
were about. I
mentioned-
wanted to, what I wanted to do? I wanted to feel her ass and titties and see if they were real.
Yikes! Even though it would have been a man.
That would have
Yeah.
been cool, man.
Pause.
Listen, all you have to do is try to kick them and see what happens.
It's just
You don't have to
touching.
feel their ass and titties at that point.
So-
Just kick them. And hopefully they have balls. I don't know.
I did do that, and then they finessed my chain off my
That's
neck.
crazy.
But the next day, I went out and I went to the same area and I watched them, and I was watching
I was gonna
people go
mention
up
this
to
part.
them and do the same thing, and they were pickpocketing them too. And I'm like, yo, she took your phone, and the guy was like trying to wave me off, and I'm like, no, yo, she
He
took
was
your
drunk
phone
at the
because
time, yeah.
the guy's so interested in the girl. He's like, yo, why is this guy coming in here trying to ruin my game and shit?
Right.
He doesn't understand.
I'm like,
what
yo,
the
she
fuck's
took
going
your phone. And then she started looking at me.
One
and
thing, it's
I couldn't figure out where she put it.
Are you sure they were Chinese though? Are you sure?
Oh, the first thing our fucking
They must have been.
our guide told us was that the Chinese try to steal your phones.
Okay, well the guy.
Oh, I wasn't there when they said that. When did they say that?
The guy,
You're telling me if John just got the memo, he would be in jail?
right now. He got them right now.
Okay, our whole bachelor party, John. The thing we used for him was "Where's John?" because he was never around.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me you went on some solo missions though.
Yeah.
You did solo missions.
That's
and
dangerous.
shit,
Right?
They warned us beforehand about all the tranny mans, and they're not even tranny mans. They're just mans dressed drag queens, pretty much.
But they have like titty jobs and ass jobs or something.
Honestly,
Really?
I didn't
So they're making money then.
they're selling phones online, man. You know when you fucking
They're selling your phone.
my phone's good. I got good. I got my phone anyways. There's only 2 people who got their phone stolen. Not too bad.
Yeah, right. 2 people in your party got their phone stolen.
Out of 11, that's a pretty.
That's
that's
still pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
2 people is like
It's
one
a decent
person
amount.
enough. That's nuts. Wow.
Yeah, so I saved a couple people's phones, so I think that's karma. You know, my chain got stolen, but I saved a couple people's phones. So
Okay,
I feel good
we're
about it.
balancing out the world. But yo, shout out to the hustlers of Mexico jacking all your
Damn,
shit. When
damn.
you, go. You better watch it.
Sir,
And you know what's funny? There's police everywhere there too.
And they don't give
Oh,
a
the police
fuck.
jack your shit
Yeah,
too.
they don't care.
Yeah.
Mo took a piss, and I told him not to in the first place because it's very serious over there.
Yes.
You can't take pisses in public.
And they
This
wanted to
is
charge
something
him,
that
and he
you
gave
can't
her their
do.
watch or some shit.
So yeah, they're looking at all the tourists, just waiting for some idiot to make a mistake from Toronto, and of course it's Mo. But Mo made the mistake, and he pissed, and like I thought he was gonna get away with it, but they literally stopped him,
Yeah.
went in his pockets, took his money, and then fucking left. They just left.
Wow.
They just dipset.
How much
They
money
took
do you have?
$100.
The cops.
Wow. Yo, the cops don't. They don't play in
That's
Mexico.
not fair, man.
know what's
Yeah,
funny?
fucking
Bullshit.
yeah,
Stupid
no,
shit.
man.
Yeah, they will.
Bribe those motherfuckers.
I was talking to some
Bribe 'em.
people like before we went out and everything, and
Yeah.
said you could do a lot of things. You can drink in public. You
Yeah.
can, be drunk on the street. They don't give a fuck. But if you piss somewhere in public, they're serious about that. I don't know why, but
It's like
They're, like,
disrespect.
really serious
It
about
sounds like disrespect.
Yeah.
They'll,
Yeah,
They
yeah.
let you
that's
do all
probably-
this
Don't
shit.
piss
Like,
here.
yo, this fucking foreigner thinks he
Okay.
can piss on my country.
It's true.
Yeah.
I understand that a little bit.
I
but like,
fucking 100 agree with that. So, like, that is the greatest sentiment ever. Yo, you're pissing on her. Listen, because if
Yeah.
someone,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if
I
you've
like
seen
it.
an
I like it.
American pissing on
You
your
North
street,
American.
yeah.
give me your shoes, the
Okay,
watch,
fucking
everything.
Dick
But
back in
here's
your
the thing,
pants.
though.
Give me all your money, bitch.
Piss on my
You
block.
North American fuck.
I understand all
You
that.
North American-
Yeah, I wouldn't want to piss anywhere on anybody. Like whatever. I needed the piss. Okay.
No, I tell
so
you.
I asked like a random Mexican guy on the street, like, yo, where can I go piss? He
Right.
led me to like hotel.
The
like,
piss
it was-
station.
it was
Yeah,
small-
hey, you could be in
there
here.
was a washroom
least
where I can
a
go piss.
designated area.
Pretty much. And he showed me where it is.
How long was the walk?
He led
You
me
know
to
what?
the
He asked
cartel.
for tip. He asked for fucking tip.
I
just
never
needed to
asked
know
anybody for fucking
if you don't want to
advice.
piss
so-
on your streets.
Wait, was he a worker? What
Nah.
was he? Just a guy?
Well,
he one of those
showed me to one of
promoters?
the workers, like that
Oh.
I don't know, of a
He showed you to a
certain
worker.
reservation or whatever area, and
Resort.
this guy let me go piss in one of the washrooms, and then right
like, where's my
after
tip?
he's like, "Where's my money?" Like he didn't
And
even fucking.
what did you do? What'd you say?
I left.
You didn't give him anything.
I wasn't about to.
And that's
no.
the way you're supposed to do it. Yeah.
Because like. Hey, if you're not letting me piss on your streets, let me piss in some washroom.
Yeah, like, not giving you tips to go to the washroom. It's a right to go to the washroom, right?
Yeah,
I
man.
was like, holy crap.
crazy.
If I'm anywhere like that, I just expect to be scammed. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, you gotta watch
like
it.
you gotta watch yourself.
watch
Like any interaction you make with anybody.
Yeah,
So,
there's another thing about like the streets of Mexico there, or at least in that hotel zone or zona hotel is what they call it, where all the tourists go, all the resorts are there, and then there's like one strip of all the clubs and all the party stuff. For every 2 tourists or partiers who are out on the streets, there's one promoter promoting some club, some strip club or something, and they're trying to take you somewhere.
Yeah.
And every guy's telling you a different price. And like you don't know what to believe. And then they say they're taking you to one place and you go to another place.
Right.
So just be strong-willed and like,
It's crazy.
At the
Check
same
out your
time,
options.
it's crazy. At the same time, these resorts, these billion-dollar resorts that set up in like these crazy poor-ass places, they're not like funding the economy in those countries. They're funneling all the money they make out of the country. You know what I'm saying? So when like the tourists come, they're the poor people who are trying to hustle you. who are already getting like shafted by the resort or wherever all the nearby attractions are saying like, we ain't getting our cut, so this is how we're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, just to give you some background as to why you should kind of watch out. But because listen, they see it all the time. Like,
but
you know what I mean?
Yo,
If it's an honest, legit guy, I don't mind tipping him.
Yeah,
but
that's another
he
thing.
helps you.
there's not a lot of honest, legit.
No,
people
I
that
met some like who
mess
hooked me up, and I'm like, he hooked me up with a deal to get into a place, and I tipped him, and the people inside were asking for tip. I'm like, fuck that, I'm gonna tip this guy, and I watch them, make sure they watch me tip this guy. You know what I mean?
What was the deal? Give me your credit card. I'll be back in 15 minutes, man.
I have to say though, like when we walked into that strip club there was more women in that strip club than guys.
Yeah.
How do they make any profit? I'm just saying, each one of us, if we wanted to, every guy in that room, for instance, in that strip club, we could have had 5 girls each, kind of thing. That's how many girls were in this fucking strip club.
Yeah.
What the fuck? How are they making money?
You know
I'm
what?
so confused.
Those girls are put there. They're working. Like they're acting like they're
Okay,
they're acting like they're actual like club goers and shit like
but
that.
here's the thing though.
No, this is a strip club though.
This is a strip club.
Yeah.
So you
On
know they're
top of that,
strippers.
So
on top of
are
that,
you talking about just girls just in there, or girls
Strippers.
like
No,
strippers?
strippers.
Oh, so there was more strippers than actual people that attended, is what you're saying?
yeah. So like,
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you meant girl customers.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I wanted to leave, right? I'm like, oh,
'Cause in
can
those-
I-
yeah.
So this guy came up to me. I'm just saying, this guy came up to me. He's like, okay, I said I wanted to leave. I want to go back to the hotel. There was a girl next to me or whatever. He's like,
Yeah.
okay, for $200, you can take her with you.
Sick.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
That was like at this time. I'm like, what the fuck? Really? This is how it.
Yo, that's a
works
sick
here?
deal.
Yo, to be honest, like
$200.
now that you bring up $200, like I was in Mexico
American,
one
like,
time.
Hold up, I want to hear this.
I was in Mexico
Oh,
one
fuck.
time. This was like back in 2012, and this bartender that we made friends with, right?
Yeah.
Like during the week, like he's just like, yo, you want some girls or whatever? And then like me and my friend are like, okay, fuck yeah, like what the fuck? Like,
No, I'm sorry.
yeah. And so I guess he called up one of his buddies like later at night, and he's like a taxi cab driver. So like we go to the end of the street, where the resort is, and like he pulls up. And he brings out this big book of like, and it looked like a fucking menu, like of like the girls, like the pictures.
The whole menu.
Yeah, it's like a whole menu, bro. Like, and it was like professional pictures and everything. Like, it looked like a fucking menu that you would get at a restaurant. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then he's like, yo, which one you want? Which one you want? So we were like fucking drunk.
Yeah.
And then we're like, and I'm with one of my other friends, and he's like, this is when the whole cartel shit was happening, and like
Right.
they were killing mad Canadians and shit back then.
Oh,
shit.
They're
And,
still doing that, by the way.
Yeah. Remember when they were kidnapping like mad Canadians?
I
And they
remember
were
that,
dying and
yeah.
shit? Yeah, that was like, back then when we were doing the shit.
God.
But
What a perfect time to go to Mexico.
yeah. Yo, he was scared shitless. We're like, me and my other friend were like, yo, we're
Listen, when Torontonians get time off, it doesn't matter what the fuck is going on in the country. We will go as soon as our vacation starts. Kidnap
2
me,
weeks.
motherfucker.
yeah. One of my other friends, he was shook as shit. Like me and my next bro, he was like, yo, we're fucking going. Fucking, we're in Mexico. We're
Yeah.
next time we're fucking going. And yeah, so we jump in the car. This guy's driving fast as shit. Like we go downtown, wherever downtown is. We go into this like sketchy alleyway. At this point, we're just like,
Yo,
holy
what the fuck is going
man,
on?
we're gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
We go into this
I made
like
the wrong decision.
yeah, we go into this like door in the alleyway, and then
Holy
we
shit.
get into this like pimp ass fucking place. Like it's like nice and plush and everything.
Yeah.
Like nice ass couches, like the nice bright lights, and then we sit down on this couch, and this guy called Javier, I'm guessing he's some type of pimp because like he was like dressed in like this like fucking velvet ass suit, like it was red and gray and shit, and like he just like brought out girls like one at a time. He just introduced them. This is and okay, we have like $50 like American. Like, yeah, exactly.
Where's that?
Oh, damn. Whatever.
I got you. Okay, so what happened?
Yeah, so we didn't, like, you know, we were just, like, kind of like, fuck, we don't have any money. But he just kept on showing us girls, and we actually picked the girls and everything, too. He gave us the menu, we picked the girls.
No way.
And we actually,
What part of Mexico were you at? Do you remember?
Fuck, I was in Cancun.
In Cancun.
But you
There we go,
went. You went
Cancun.
to the real Mexico downtown, or you went to like the hotels?
I don't know where this guy drove us, bro.
I think he took you to
I
real
don't know
downtown.
where he drove us.
It was also
but-
like 6 years ago. Yeah.
yeah, this was like mad long ago. But yeah, so we're about to pick the girls and everything, and it's just like, we need to talk money, and then we're like, oh shit. And yeah, we tell him like, yeah, we only have like $25 like between both. Like, it's like, yo, he's like minimum $200. We're like, we don't have that much money. Yo, this guy got so like he looked pissed, like his face just changed. And then he quietly talks to the taxi guy, and he's like, and then the taxi guy's like, okay, we gotta go.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay.
Wow.
We'll go. This guy drops his back like so fast. Like it was funny because he just like the taxi guy like assumed like I guess.
Can I ask
Yo, this
if
guy
the
asked
taxi was a free ride? Because that's all we had.
Yo, we
there
were
the
drunk
whole
as fuck,
time.
and we were just like, "Yo, we're going." This guy
shit.
offered us like, "Yo, you want
Free
some
ride,
girls?"
free
We're like,
ride,
"Yeah."
girls.
Did you have to tip the cab driver? Like how much? Of course, you had like you paid.
I
the
think
cab
we
driver.
paid him like
Yeah.
whatever, like it wasn't that much, like $10 or
This is
whatever.
why I was asking about the Mexican pizza because it's being offered at every corner.
But yeah, we didn't have that type of dough, and it was like American that they were asking for, right? So
That's a lot.
that's
of
my
money, though.
story.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money to bust a nut.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, you ever had a girlfriend?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
that's true.
3 dates. That could be $200 right there.
$200 one time? That's a blessing, dog.
No hassle given.
Man, just spending $506
Fucking Raptor tickets, bro.
Raptor.
Yo, 80 G's on the wedding. No.
Jeez,
and then
Just so you
plus,
could have this pussy.
you think that's it? No, she'd make you buy more shit after that. She wants she wants a baby.
the ring?
The
pay for that.
female viewers.
You need the male perspective.
Good night, everybody. No.
Yo, Mark Zuckerberg came out and apologized.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg.
Fuckerberg.
So basically, he came out and was like, "Yo, we're sorry for the 15 million user data breach, Cambridge Atlantic." Yo,
He literally
he just
came
said, "I'm
out,
sorry." He
I'm
admitted.
sorry.
Yeah, like
No, he said we're gonna fully investigate everyone that's
let me
been
open
breached and all that shit.
He
I'm in IT.
Yo, what?
We tell these messages to customers every day, and
This is some daily bullshit.
classic IT move.
There's some shit that you just can't explain and you can't investigate to a point. You just gotta move on, like investigate what you can and
that's
give
good.
people some kind of
That
bullshit.
is good.
What it connects to essentially, so
Customer service.
50 million 50 million, a data breach of 50 million users. What it was used to was like to analyze and critically analyze user habits to kind of also see how it would influence.
Oh, you know
the election.
right?
You know how they were
2016.
getting the data? You know those stupid surveys and stuff you would take on Facebook, through an app or something.
Yeah,
You'd be yeah. Do this survey and whatever, you could win a prize.
Right.
They were pulling data from that.
That's fuck.
Wow.
Yo, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That is so nuts. And Tim
And-
Cook even said, right, I hate to cut you off, but
Yeah,
Tim
yeah.
Cook came out and threw some shots. It's this is billionaire rap beef. This is great. So Mark Zuckerberg was like, I'm sorry. And Tim Cook was like, someone asked him, there was a huge press interview, and Tim Cook was promoting Apple software and whatever they were doing. They asked him about the data breach, and then Tim Cook was like, "Oh, that wouldn't I wouldn't know how to answer these questions because that would never be me. That would just never be me.
Ooh,
You know,
okay.
Apple's on another. You know what I'm saying? We're on a higher echelon. That these I would never have to answer.
But Facebook
To
is a
my
whole
user-
nother
I have
beast.
another one. Elon came out right on Twitter, right? One of his one of his fans were like, "Yo, are you supporting Mark Zuckerberg in this scandal?" And he's like, "How?" They're like, "Oh yeah, you have your SpaceX fucking fan page up on Facebook," and he's like, "Oh, I do." Well, I'll take care of that.
Say
He literally
the
said
word.
that on Twitter, and like, now it's gone. He shut down his SpaceX.
Yo, what a G. Yo, bust a shot for that one, bro. Wow.
Elon Musk is a real G.
I just wanted to comment that he is on the whole thing about get rid of your Facebook account because they're breaching into your fucking privacy.
He's down for that.
Look, I'm not on Facebook at the moment, but I will pop back on Facebook to promote the Millennial Hipsters.
True.
But
Let me make a point to this whole Facebook shit.
Yeah.
You think you're off Facebook, but Facebook owns Instagram.
sure.
Facebook owns WhatsApp. And I think a lot of people, the most apps they use on their phone are probably Instagram and WhatsApp.
my
Maybe
dude's
Twitter.
right here. I'm on Instagram and I promote Millennial
That's
Hipsters
true.
on Instagram, and yes, yeah.
That's business moves right there.
Yo, the
'Cause
thing
they,
is-
they know that shit.
The scary thing is, though, no, there's no word of a lie, bro. I've been talking on WhatsApp, Instagram, whatever social media platform, like, just not through text messages, because who the fuck uses text messages anymore? No one. Anyway, I was just talking on WhatsApp, whatever, with someone about, like, these shits I wanted to buy, like, these glasses I wanted to buy or some shit. And, like, hands
Yes.
down, Facebook will push the ads to
I know
me.
where
Yes.
And I've
all
never
the time.
made reference to anything I've wanted to
Yeah.
buy on
I don't
Facebook.
understand how that
I'll be
fucking
chatting on
happens.
WhatsApp or do some shit on Instagram, and then somehow the
It's
shit
all
has just been
connected,
pushed.
man. Yeah.
And like now, to me, now it's just, it's like so explicit to the point where I'm like, oh, that's great. Like there's integration between all my apps. But in reality, it's fucking scary, you know?
It's data being pushed here and
Yeah.
there.
And to me, like as a user in this day and age, I'm thinking it's like a thing about convenience. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're going to push the things I like to me. But wait a second. Like it's
But
getting,
How did you know that?
there is a weird angle to it.
Google does the same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
but they explicitly tell you can turn this off if you want. If you don't want us to track your activity and give you target-based ads, then you can turn it off if you want. But I think Facebook is like, they're kind of like sneakily doing it without really telling you. You know what I mean?
Yo, I'll tell you another thing about Google. Google will actually, if you search something on Google, and I've noticed it with very off things, because I really think they're trying to build their database and it's in the works, but if you search something like, this is just an example, I'm not being accurate, but like how many meters or how many meters or how many yards or something, I'm not sure what the...
How many
Yeah.
yards are in a meter?
No, like how many yards did Michael Johnson lose to Donovan Bailey in 1996?
Yeah, that's
whatever?
just something very specific.
Like that, yards or something.
Yeah.
And then you'll type in like how many yards and Google will know that you're referencing that you were asking about Donovan Bailey to measure in the metric system. Like it'll know like, if you search something and then you delete that and search the other thing, it'll know
That's
that
a
you were
form of AI that they
Right.
have like in their search machine.
like that your searches one after the other will relate to each other in a certain amount of time, and so it'll autocomplete based on the search before.
Yep.
it's your own stalker is what it becomes, right?
AI, man. I mean,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
I think Google or like any of these apps, the internet knows you better than anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
catering to your searches, your typing.
But the thing is isn't that what we wanted though? Like, do we wanted a fluid, intuitive, like database? We wanted something to respond to us and be very adaptive.
Jam
The
has
thing
it.
is, we're always on the search for convenience in this era, in this society, like currently, anything that is convenient to us,
Yeah.
we'll accept it,
Even if we don't need it.
even if we don't need
Yeah.
it, or even if we know it's not like particularly in our favor. You know,
Yeah.
like that's the thing.
Like when you buy the Nintendo Switch, but you need the adapter to use your PS4 controller on the Nintendo Switch. Why the fuck
Yeah, exactly.
do you need to do that?
exactly.
You want to use a
Why did you
And
buy
how,
this system?
You know, and even like how we depend on Google Voice searches. Like, you click the microphone, you'll be like,
Right.
"Hey Google, blah 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 blah,"
Yeah.
right? And it'll finish your sentence for you.
Yeah.
That's a form of AI, right? And it's like, it's being implemented like into our everyday lives.
And
you
I
know?
think the average Joe will be like, listen, I don't give a fuck if my shit is breached. What do they want? My fucking debt?
Yeah,
like, what do they want? My fucking
I'm
nudes
clean.
and
I'm
shit?
clean. I don't do shit.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't do shit, if you're just petty, like, what the fuck do these people
Yeah,
understand?
yeah. Yo, look at my.
And that's what it is. And I think people
Look
like,
at my-
listen, I am the average Joe user, and I'm thinking, listen, if you want to put fluidity into these apps and kind of breach my thoughts and my preferences and my likings, then you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. At the end of the day, people still have the kind of mindset that it's my wallet. I'm still gonna be able to decide where I'm putting it, like
Yeah.
the choices I'm making, right? But then again,
But like I'm sort of like
Perfect glasses ad comes my way. Perfect.
I'm sort of like that. I'm on like the fence about this like privacy shit because like I don't really have anything I want to hide. Like I don't really give
I'm on the
a shit.
fence.
Like I'm not hiding anything.
Yeah, my Instagram's not.
I mean,
hidden,
but
like,
that doesn't mean that doesn't give them the right to be all up in my shit. That's what people are up in arms about because like it doesn't matter what you're trying to hide or what you're not trying to hide. Sorry, like you know it like they're in breaching on your rights.
Yeah.
Like
I was just gonna say, you guys watch Black Mirror?
yeah.
Like you
We've
guys are all
mentioned
talking
that.
about this shit. Like imagine they're sneaking that shit up on us. Like
Black
can get that serious.
Black Mirror. That show to me is just things that are gonna happen in like 5 or 10 years.
Yeah,
they're telling you. They're
but
telling
the way we're doing it right now, this is all like
It's subtly it's grooming us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's grooming us to get used to it.
We'll get used to it, and then it'll get up to this point where we're gonna be like, oh, it's just a little bit added extra to what we're already doing.
We won't even notice. Yeah.
We won't even notice it. And I feel like that's where we're going right now because imagine us talking about this 20 years ago about everything that's happening to us.
People be like, "You're insane. You're crazy, man.
Yeah.
No way,
crazy man,
crazy man."
Within 20 years from now, it'll be like.
Sorry, it's gonna be
The evolution of technology is exponential.
Yeah.
No, but
So
it's
maybe less.
Moore's law, bro.
declining.
So I have to stop watching one of my favorite shows.
Cue it up. I thought you were gonna play it.
Yo,
Fuck that.
Wait, what is
breaches
that?
all
You gotta
around.
stop watching one of your favorite shows.
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror. It's freaking us out too much, man.
It's a little freaky.
No, you need to know
freaky,
what's
man.
happening in the future.
Freaky man.
But
That's the thing, though. Does awareness do anything? Like, we're aware that Facebook breaches us.
no, you
I'm
can
on
be
Facebook.
like, I'm gonna stop using Facebook. I'm gonna stop using
But
Google.
no one will.
But you can't.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. No one's gonna be like,
can't.
I'm gonna stop using
It's an
Facebook.
addiction, yo.
it's not even an addiction.
It is.
To keep up with society and be on the same level as everyone else, you can't
Everybody's addicted to it.
just. You gotta go Amish.
The comparison is, it's like we're all educated people, and Facebook is saying we know all your shit, even though you're using it, right? It's like me. It's like you using your phone and me taking your phone and checking everything you did in the past 24 hours, and then giving it back to you. It's the same fucking thing, but because it's Facebook, it's like.
But it's even worse because they're analyzing your profile, right?
Yeah,
and
and
like
they're selling it.
taking
They're
all
also
your,
selling it.
taking all your history, taking all the data, and then marketing it back to you.
You know what
Yeah.
it sounds like? Like
So like that's
why I don't
what people are concerned with.
But is
because
that detrimental or is that intuitive? Is what I'm saying.
Well,
is that what you want?
I think for certain people, like that's like breaching
Of privacy. I
privacy,
get it. Yeah,
right.
infiltrating my thoughts. Yeah.
infiltrating your thoughts, and like subliminally that could like pretty much influence somebody in a who isn't really savvy to that, right?
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Like everything
I feel
they're pushing to you. So
wow.
I don't know, man.
I'd say try to stay
It's-
off Facebook stuff.
It's a interesting.
You know what? At the end of
Google.
the day, it is your choice. Make an informative one, though. Knowing this, if you are tuned in, knowing that, make an informed choice. Because we know now Facebook is all up in your shit, so we know,
Yeah.
right? So based on that, make a choice.
Google is
Before-
all in your shit too, but they can protect it better.
for sure.
I feel like they're trying to get at the point here where like if your girlfriend takes your phone and you're cheating on her and she's looking through your fucking phone, they're trying to make us comfortable with that. but like slowly and
I feel you.
inclined
The
to it.
analogy
You
is
know what I
there.
mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
That's what, and soon enough we'll accept it. Like I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I feel like we just
it's
found out Facebook's cheating on us.
Yes.
And
We shared all this information with you. You have so much history. You just go,
You know, right? Yo, I told you everything. You know everything. How can you do this? Yo, I just want to say before we wrap it up, we didn't really get to touch on rap news, but I think some significant news on rap is Jam just melted Chikashi to me, so that's gonna take another 45 minutes. But I will say, DMX just got another year in federal prison.
Yeah,
dodging his
I was
taxes.
reading
Oh
about
my
that
God,
shit.
They're gonna throw DMX back.
My
in
mans,
prison.
they keep getting my.
That's
fucking
your man's, bro.
yeah,
Like,
that's not really my
dodging
bad, but
taxes.
I know it's.
I like DMX, man.
he's
You know,
dodging taxes. 1.7 million in taxes, so they're gonna throw him in prison for a year.
Man, he's been done for the longest time. It's a very sad sad story.
But he was coming up a little bit. He was doing.
I don't know if he's been coming up, man.
He did Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for Christmas, bro.
That was
like 5 years ago.
No, he did a new one. He did another one in 2017.
Really?
Yeah, he did like a new update.
But
HQ. It's high quality.
You send this to me for the vid?
Yeah.
I guess singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is something.
Yo, DMX, just like bless up DMX, yo. It's like the thing is when he, like, God forbid, his time is coming, and like, you know, we've seen a lot of greats pass in our time, you know, and when DMX passes, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. You know, I'm gonna blow one out.
Wait,
right?
so was he in jail for this before?
No,
The
he
same
wasn't.
thing?
He was. You know what I really think?
assault
I
or something?
really think he was recovering from some really heavy drugs.
Yeah.
He was in prison. He got let out. He was out.
What was he in for before though?
Like
it wasn't this white collar.
No idea. No idea.
Is tax evasion considered a white collar crime?
No.
No.
White
like-
collar?
that's like the
white
worst-
collar? Wait, which one's the richer one?
Business. Like
Which
a
one's the
business
richer
crime.
Okay, that is white collar.
Yeah,
Blue
yeah.
collar's the average Joe crime, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, we got our crime. Our crime colors out.
So rich people don't pay taxes.
It's not just black and white,
Greedy,
folks.
man.
Holy
But
shit.
Well, DMX, I don't think was rich.
can you also
mean,
go into
money.
prison? Like
He
say
did, but he spent. Listen,
Expensive. That's
say you
just
legit
fucking like, I don't know, man.
and
miscalculated your
alimony,
taxes.
child support, all these other things, people leeching your shit, licensing,
Yeah.
you fucked up on, like, you know,
No.
the whole bunch of stuff.
What if
he had a drug addiction? And like,
No, I'm saying like, what if
That's a big
DMX
thing.
tried to do his taxes himself, and he fucked up a bit?
oh, maybe that's what happened.
Does he still go to prison because he gave
He tried?
gave them the wrong amount?
I really don't think DMX even tried to do his taxes. I'm sorry, DMX.
I'm pretty sure Charles take his taxes.
I just think that whole
What?
pension.
Also, yo, I know we were like shouting out Women's International Women's Day a couple weeks ago. Yo,
the women already hate us.
Something we didn't touch on is like, yo, they recently launched a business in Toronto, and it's a black-owned business, an Uber specifically for females, by females
heard of
for
this.
females.
Oh,
you guys
no,
heard
wait.
about that?
Well, what is this called? What's it called?
It is called Uber.
Is it
Uber.
Don't
It's like
hate
no, it's called
that
Drive
idea.
Her.
Drive Her.
It's like Drive Her, but
Right,
Drive Her, right?
Uber would have worked too, though.
But that's like licensing issues and shit.
So many jokes can be made right now.
Rider. No, crazy, and people are up in arms about this. Like, people are saying, "Oh, it's discrimination. It's only for women, and only women can."
It makes
drive."
sense to me. But I mean, like, is that
Fucking
reverse
acting like
discrimination?
No, I think with this,
We want things for women, but when it is for women, it's only for women. Wait a minute.
No, the
problem.
reasoning behind this is so obvious.
yeah, it is obvious, absolutely, because women are fucking harassed by all drivers, taxi cab drivers.
Everybody.
Makes sense.
Women are harassed.
That's a reality that we don't have.
Sorry,
you know what I mean?
I would say
Women are
a
harassed by
reality
women
I'd like to
also.
You want
What the
to
hell?
be harassed.
So yeah, that's
The
kind of cool.
difference is you're not being harassed. We're always being harassed by women.
No, we talked about this. Like the difference between a male
Yo,
harassing
please harass
women
me. I want-
and a woman harassing a male is that
Pause, hold on.
the male is in the position of power because he's like physically stronger.
But when you're saying you want to be harassed,
Biological.
you're already harassed by women. So you're saying you want to be harassed by men. Like this is the way I'm getting it. Because
The point is, I will say it's kind of cool. It's kind of monumental for the business to be started by. It's for it was started. I believe it was started by a black woman in Toronto. So it's kind of like a business started by its clientele. You know what I mean? It's not no like rich conglomerate white dude at the top. It's like very like
I
homegrown.
like it. I like
And it's
it.
cool. Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
a good idea. Definitely a good idea.
All right.
I'm
Shit.
gonna end it off with a track.
You guys want to wrap it up? Wrap it up,
Cooking it
then.
out. Cooking it out. And also,
Wrap it up, then.
I'm flying out to LA tomorrow.
Oh, hey.
When you coming back?
I'm coming back. We're just doing a quick thing, 4 days.
Airbnb thing.
Yeah, Airbnb.
You got the track? Let's.
Sounds lit.
Yep,
Got a
yep.
rental car out
I've
there.
never been to LA.
We're gonna be hitting Nobu. Nobu. Drake raps about Nobu.
Oh, does he?
So there's a restaurant?
All right,
Nope,
peace out,
yeah.
everybody.
Yo, take it easy. Here's the end track.
Yeah.
Thanks for rocking with us. Episode 9. We're 1 away from 10. So thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for all the support. All y'all that fuck with us. All the views. All the listeners. Our friends who we see.
Turn it up a little bit.
You know what I'm saying?
Turn to 6 upside down. It's a 9 now.
True. Turn this
Yeah, man.
down.
All right, this is Boofmatic. We're signing out. Peace out, everybody. What's going on? Hey!
Good Friday, long weekend.
Yo, it's actually crazy. Because we're the only ones doing this. Only ones out of Malvern doing this. Putting Malvern Scarborough on the map. So holla at us. What's up, Millennial Hipsters?
Peace.